Is a Monster Train 2 out?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Is it just a different layer? Hang on. Welcome to Broken Home, the podcast where being broke ain't all bad. I'm your host, Jeremy Webb, and joining me is my Taiwan correspondent, Big Mib.
What's up, Jezza?
Sorry, just throwing you in on the intro when you're not expecting it.
Yeah, no, wasn't ready for that. Oh, and I fucking didn't hit record. Yeah, anyway.
Mine's going fine. There. Worst case, I throw the intro in again.
Word. No, it's fine. Let's, whatever, rip it. Go live.
Nah, we're good. I just wanted to jump in before we went into indie game chat.
This is an indie game podcast now, is it?
Well, they're the cheaper option, aren't they?
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I think it's, I thought last year was Year of the Indie. I think this one might be Year of the Indie too. Like, I don't fuck with that many AAA shit anymore because, yeah, a little bit of a waste of cash and tiny bit of a waste of time.
Yeah, it's got to be something in particular for me now.
Yeah.
Like, even in the moment, I'm playing Baldur's Gate and, like, fucking took ages for that to actually come on sale because it's, like, that digital-only thing they had going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, like, I only got that, like, a month or so back.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, it's, like, apart from that, it's either, like, indies or, like, free-to-play games at the moment. Mostly because of Marvel Rivals, I'll be honest.
Word. Well, I don't know if we call Marvel Rivals kind of indie, but it is free, so it's got that going
That's
for it.
what I meant.
It's in that category, but yeah.
I wouldn't call it an indie, I just meant it's not full AAA title. It's just
right.
a game that's been made.
Right. Dude, I think it's because, like, it's getting painfully obvious when games lack, like, inspiration, you know, and new and fresh ideas and doing shit. And I guess not that, like, Marvel Rivals was doing anything new, but they assembled the pieces in a way that is pretty fresh feeling. And yeah. I feel like a lot of indie games do that too. And I mean,
well, it's because they're not just made by the same 12 board members and then one guy they're getting to actually make it.
Right. And it's not the 20th iteration of Call of Duty or NBA or whatever the fuck.
That is the thing. It's starting to just, like, we've sifted down so that, like, the mainstream titles are all just the same thing. They're, like, across the board, this is what people want.
Yeah.
But, yeah, unless you go to an indie thing where people actually making it have a bit more control, it's like, it's going to keep being that.
Right.
And it's kind of awful that it's Marvel Rivals that is taking off and being like, yeah, this is something that hasn't existed before. It's like, it's fucking Marvel.
Yeah.
Can't really make that claim just at all.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be Monster Training so fucking hard. But I was going to say, for my little spiel about, indie games, where it's at, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I still can't wait to get my fucking Switch 2, dude, which was delayed in Taiwan for a whole month randomly, and I just know deep down in my bones, I think I sent you a message about this.
Yeah.
This is fucking America's fault. This is that Trump tariff bullshit. I swear to Christ, Nintendo routed a whole bunch of units to America to see if they could sell them a bit lower price or whatever before tariffs potentially came in. And made the console too expensive.
Try to get that starting deal, like, get it early, you get it for fucking $50.
You wanna, if people buy the fucking system, then they're gonna buy the games, which is, you know, where the margin is for Tendo. Don't really make much on selling a unit of the hardware.
Which is having such hardware that you just can't reproduce.
Yeah.
Like PC or anything like that. It's like, really got to get our thing, and we've got to make it interesting enough that people get it first.
Right. And
I've seen a lot of these clips of fucking Mario Kart World. I'm like,
dude, that's what I was gonna say. I'm starting to get really frustrated that Mario Kart World is being spoiled, like, by fucking Instagram reels. Like, I don't get to experience that fresh Mario Kart story for the first time, unfiltered.
Story. I thought you were just talking spoilers about people already coming up with the like track skips and all that shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that actually realistically.
Mm.
But
It's
God, I
the
want
thing
to
with those. It's kind of
get that
disappointing
fucking
with new
game.
games where it's like, uh, that will get patched out, or some of those will get patched out.
Mm,
It's not like, the fucking GameCube one comes out and it's like, hey, whatever's in there is in there. Deal with it.
yeah. Or Nintendo 64 fucking was it Wario's Raceway where you just
There's a couple.
on the very first part of the
Mm.
track ram the wall, fly over into the
With
fucking
hard left, you go to the second jump and just
uh-huh.
pop right over.
Yeah.
There's another with like, I want to say DK's Jungle, I think has one. Because plenty of them have legit shortcuts.
In N64 DK
Yeah.
Jungle? Yeah, I reckon remember how there's a
There's
bridge?
definitely the Rainbow Road jump.
Oh yeah. That's fucking hard. I practiced that and I still can't get it consistently. Yeah, DK's Jungle, I
That's
think.
the thing. You've only got to get it once, and then you've just won the race.
Right. But also, you can... dude, I remember there's no worse feeling than being the fuckwit that tries the mega jumps, which I am, and the shortcuts and whatever. But
This I know of you.
when it's a really hard one, like the Rainbow Road, you might sit there and attempt the fucking jump while everybody just completes the race normally, and then I'm pretty sure it's like I think like everyone had to finish the race for the race to actually finish. Or maybe it was everybody but one person. I can't quite remember now.
It
but
was. Here's my little weird bits of knowledge.
all right, fill it in.
So if you were playing with enough people that there weren't bots, it would just like you all had to finish because it would only be the four of you.
Right.
Whereas if it was the two of you, I think if everybody else finished and they were just last,
Yeah.
it would finish for them.
Right. I kind of remember that too, but I do have memories of people attempting the jump, including myself, and then the normal race is finished, and we're still fucking up the jump. And it's like, just that awkward realization. It's like, okay, do we keep attempting this skip? Or does everybody want to watch us drive the regular fucking Rainbow Road track in N64 with our heads hung in shame? Which, by the way...
Often they do.
I got a potentially hot take for you here, Jeremy. I don't know if it's that hot. It's
All
a
right,
very
what do you
old
got?
game. Nintendo 64 Rainbow Road Mario Kart track is actually boring as fuck. Because
Correct.
just basically a straight line, bumpers the whole way. Oh,
Yeah, there's
man,
no-
in hindsight, that track is fucking boring.
Yeah, it's like it's the freeway race, you know? There's shit in the way. You got some like chomps and shit.
Yeah.
There's like it's visual because that was the track. That one was like, yeah, all right, this is taking up 30% of the cartridge
Right.
just with these fucking particle effects going in the background.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely the perfect end track for the game, like, oh, you got all the characters in the sky, and it is probably definitely the longest track and visually cool, but just
These
lacking
days,
a little bit in the gameplay area.
it felt like that was later replaced with, some of the cups will have like a 3-part race rather than
Oh, yeah.
3 laps.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where it sort of came from ish, except they put checkpoints in it and made it more interesting. But in terms of having that at the end of the cup,
Yeah, word.
is definitely where you want to be sitting at. But
Word.
the basic thing I have an issue with the new one and not having it is I'm like, you're going to play it for the first time with other people and you're going to get there. It's like the sliding feels different and I keep hitting walls or I keep fucking just down the edges.
Oh, but man, I'm
Hey,
looking
what?
forward to getting good at this grinding shit. It looks like the skill floor's been raised a little bit, right? I mean, you get it. Traditionally, being so good at Mario Kart, get to first place, drift every corner, don't get hit, whatever.
Now you can Tony Hawk it while you're in first for a bit.
Yeah. Which means once T-Hawk here gets good at the game, and we fire it up in the office, it's gonna be some pretty hard flexing.
I love that you do leave yourself that leeway though.
Yeah.
As if everyone in your fucking company doesn't already have their own one at home.
Well, remember, nobody does. No one in this fucking country has a Switch. Oh. Like we got a fucking Slack channel in our company, which is like Nintendo Switch 2 waiting room. Bloody just sitting there acting miserable and hurt.
Has anything else come out with it?
Yeah, that's like there's like controversy actually because I mean you got Mario Kart World, okay, sure,
Yeah,
yes,
no one's arguing that was going to go well.
yeah, and then oh yeah, the other two games I think that came out in the first month. One is that Welcome Tour thing that they're charging $30 for. I
Oh,
thought you
fucking
were
Astrobot.
I thought you were
Fucking
gonna go vomit. No, but the thing is, Astrobot is good. This is like you walk around between tutorials or something, like written word, like walk up to a terminal, written word, read how to use mouse controls. I mean, hilariously, why this wasn't free? I mean, you wouldn't want it if it was free, and
It sounds like one of those
you gotta
old
pay
fucking
for it.
programs on the Mac to teach kids how to use computers.
Yeah, essentially it is. And the other one,
Fucking
I think
Mavis Beacon up in there.
we touched it. Did we touch upon this in the last Lost podcast, Jezza?
Yeah, shut
The
up.
wheelchair basketball, lame ass looking fucking Rocket League, like
Yeah,
Rocket League but
it came up.
worse, and Nintendo, and you need mouse controls, and who the fuck let this launch?
No.
Um, and yeah, I will.
I don't know if this came up as the comparison, but it's like at least Arms was interesting.
Arms? What are you talking about? Arms?
Remember Arms? It came out with like the start of the first Switch, and it was like a 1v1 like punch fight game that sort of worked like a third person shooter.
This kind of sounds familiar. It's got something to do with robots.
The character's in fucking Smash, man.
What?
She's got like the weird springy arms and legs.
Oh,
Yeah,
Min Min.
that's from Arms.
Oh fuck! I had no idea where that character was from.
It's
Sometimes,
from the because Arms wasn't bad. Check it out at some stage
all
because
right.
like even just to look up what it looks like. But it's yeah, I just remember it being like you're across the field from one another, sort of third person view, and you got to like charge up your punches and you throw out
Huh?
different ones to try and hit them and loop around. And they've got like
Using motion
different.
controls, I guess.
You can. I used to play not
Oh.
because there's something about when I play fighting games of any kind. It's very much a locked in position.
Oh, I thought you meant you're throwing
Like
such fucking sick haymakers that you
nah,
know, you got to turn off motion control for your own safety.
because I was getting too mad,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
mad. I'm just fucking PTSDing out.
Yeah.
Nah, it was just like fighting mode style. I don't know if that's from an arcade thing.
Huh.
I didn't learn so much in the arcades, but it was always like that's where I was always fucking around with it every now and again anyway.
Right,
But it's
right.
like, or if it's just because, you know, playing back home as a kid using the spare fucking safe cracking TV with the
Mm.
two knobs, getting that going. Somehow finding what fucking TV channel that it sends the Sega Mega Drive fucking signal through.
Yeah.
Eventually get that going, and then just like sitting in the. Hey. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Not
amount of
even putting in, like,
troubleshooting required to get old fucking shit like that working.
that's and like in Benalla, man. That's why I ended up in IT because
Yeah.
I could
This little
both
cable jiggle.
set the time. No, not even. I could set the time on a VCR, and then I could also figure out how to record one channel on the VCR versus a different channel that you were actually watching.
Mm.
And that got me to the point where I'd have to go to, you know, other people's houses to set that up for them.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. See, Horsham's relatively similar to Benalla, but there's an extra tier down.
Yeah. Well, let's compare hometowns.
Yeah.
It could be fun. It might be the only fucking on-brand thing that we talk about today on this pod about growing
Hey,
up in
cheap
shit
games are
hometowns.
And we're talking cheap games. We're talking consoles we can't buy.
Yeah.
What's more broke than that?
Did you have a video store that
Yeah,
rented
we did.
games?
We had a Video Easy.
Video easy. Huh.
Yeah, that was one of those like not blockbusters.
Yeah, I'm just
It's got
trying
like
to.
a weird
I
pointy
don't know why I
logo.
don't remember Video Easy. I guess it's familiar. Yeah.
Video Easy never had any of the like chain ones besides that. It was like
Oh, we didn't have chains. I think we had some called high voltage or some shit, which is like definitely
I
just
never
some
understood why
dude.
there was chains anyway.
Right,
It's just
right.
like I was like, I could have a video store if I just bought more videos. Like,
Mm,
I, it's like what you got some new releases coming out every fortnight. You buy 6 copies of each.
right.
What else
Also,
do you need? What do you need the blockbuster title for in a fucking town of 10,000?
yeah, no, fuck that. And then, I don't know. Places, am I crazy? Places feel like they used to have character before everything was a fucking blockbuster. Like,
Yeah, this place had a weird vibe because at one stage it was in an old bank,
oh yeah,
so it had these like concrete like wheelchair ramps and then like a tiny set of stairs, but then like weird tiers in the floor where you'd have to do like a little 1-2 step.
hmm.
There was like clearly a place like behind the counter that was like the back end of the bank.
That
It
doesn't
was just
sound
like a
up a
weird
code.
setup. I'm
Yeah,
just like, how it definitely had the vibe of one still. So you're like, man, it felt like those videotapes were very safe.
right, right. Did I ever tell you? My father and I, like 10 years ago, went
Yeah,
to Malaysia for just like a week or something like that. We visited
yeah,
my
it's one of those
sister.
not suspicious sentences, but continue.
Yeah, well, my sister was working for a year in Malaysia. So anyway, we went and visited
That
her,
also
and
doesn't help.
working as an English teacher. It's all above board. Don't worry.
Yeah, but
And
who's she teaching English?
oh, Malaysian people.
It's us.
Yeah. What are they doing with that English? Oh fuck, I don't know. No, it was all aunties, but
Spreading it round.
yeah. No, but anyway, so in Kuala Lumpur, the capital, they have the
Yeah.
Petronas Towers, which like two twin towers, and when they were built, they were the tallest towers in the world. They're big boys.
Mm.
Malaysia's got a ton of that oil money. You know what oil money countries do? They love building big fucking towers.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and using off-road vehicles just going up sand dunes.
yeah, well,
Those clips are so sick.
maybe that's
It's
the
just the
one
most.
one way that Malaysia as a petro state is different to the rest of them. There's not many fucking dunes.
Oh
Um,
man, those clips are sick.
yeah, oh, no, I
You
agree. I
say
agree. Launching off
it's
the
just
fucking
like,
top of the dune.
well, it's just like, oh, I like the ones where it's a really steep one and they're just trying to get up it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
The
like
one.
fucking desert tractor pulls,
Right. Oh,
which are also awesome.
yeah. I'll finish this real quick though, because it just relates
Mm.
to small town Australian guy thinking or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah.
so we go and visit the tower. He wants to check it out. I mean, he's a mechanic by trade, but loves his engineering and mega structures and shit like that. So we go up
Yeah.
these massive fucking towers, and there's a bridge that connects them, like most of the way up. So you can walk across the
Mhm.
bridge and whatever. And we're walking across the bridge and looking out the big windows, and he's like, look at these welds. Like these are fucking terrible welds. Who welded this thing? Probably fucking
I
$50
love
billion
both.
dollar
Not
bloody
only is he
building.
checking that,
Yeah.
he's not looking the view, but also just the fact that, man, we're too high up for you to be saying that. Wait till we're on the
Yeah,
ground
we're on the
again.
bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, like let's get off and have this as a afterthought conversation
Yeah. And
instead of some fucking foreshadowing you've just dropped on us.
right. And I mean, he saw I fucking love that comment, right?
Yeah.
And 5 minutes later, we had to hit some stairs to go up a little bit, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But they were sort of like they weren't like main area stairs, whatever. Just some little fire thing. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, these stairs are so shallow. Like the steps are quite small. Like you couldn't fit your whole foot, right? If you just put it,
Yeah.
whatever." He's like, "That would not pass code in Horsham City Council." Like, there's a dude in Horsham that goes around and measures the depths of the steps,
Steps.
and do they step down too much, and are they wide enough? And if not, you catch a fucking ticket and you got to repair that or change it.
To be fair, I was going to say you were saying width,
Mm.
like how much. I thought you meant how much room was in like the corridor there.
Oh, no.
So like,
That was
I'm
probably
like,
the one bit they had right. But
ah, Because I was gonna say, your old man, you might have just had to point out. It's like, dude, they're smaller over here, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoulder to shoulder isn't that far.
Right. Yeah.
You're not jostling at the bar at the
Mm.
fucking Royal in any town you're in.
That's it.
Ah, speaking of that, so I was having a rough week, and some of my mates was trying to like cheer us up, trying to have a pick up the spirits. And they're like, "Oh, you want to come to the footy?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right, that sounds good." And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have lunch before at this place," and then it was like, "Oh, it's at the G, not the other game, so we're gonna move here." I'm like, "Okay, never been to this pub, but it's next to the ground, what have you."
Mm-hmm.
And then I immediately noticed the method in which the boys were trying to cheer me up because there's just a big sign out the front with topless waitresses.
Oh.
But the funny thing was, like, that was on like the side wall after you've gone in, like a door and a half.
Oh yeah,
And
they
the
got you.
fact that there was just this massive security guard eyeing me up on the way in just didn't twig me at all to this
Is
not
this
just being a regular pub.
in the middle of the day, or what time
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this?
Midday.
Huh.
I think my camera's gone fuzzy. Yeah, fuck it. I'll fix it later.
Yeah, it did look a bit blurry, but anyway.
That's all right. I got another camera.
Yeah.
But we get in there, and even then, I was registering all these details on the way out. Because on the way in, the boys were sort of hinting at something. They said something about a stage. And, like, one of my mates works in, like, dancing industry, like, strippers and topless waitresses, that kind of thing. And I just didn't twig that he was also the one setting it up. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I get in there, and it looks like a 70s RSL. Like, I was looking around, and it looked like there was fucking, like, that brown sheen from the photos just in the air.
Gee,
Just, like, wood paneling.
they didn't have 70s RSL waitresses, did they?
Depends which RSLs you used to go to, but and how close it was when they were actually still full of reserved servicemen. But no, we get it, and so it's like the wood paneling, usually like, and then just like a mirror around most of the wall. And I'm like, oh, okay, this makes more sense now. But then go up, stand next to my mates, like that are near the bar, look up, and it's just it's funny. It had that setup where behind the bar was slightly higher than the rest of the floor rather than lower. So it's just you look over and then it's just tits at exact eye line. It's like, so you've got to like actively look up. Otherwise you're just like, oh, okay.
I mean, glad they put some thought into the, design of the place.
Oh, man. It was sad in there.
Oh, really?
Just like, just not good.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is what happens when you try to organise something like this as close as you possibly can to the footy.
Right.
It seriously
So what'd you
just looked
order?
like,
Review the place?
oof, chuck it up on fucking Google. TripAdvisor.
Came for the titties, stayed for the Palmer.
Oh, that's the thing. There were a lot of menus there, and I couldn't see a kitchen. So I'm like, is this one of those places where they boss in food from just other places?
Nothing but old tough bird, and I'm not talking about the Palmer.
No, because that's the thing. My mate who was there, he like does know all of these people from different venues and stuff they work at.
Oh yeah.
It's just like the dancers themselves are fine, but it's just if it's in a weird room that's too well lit, that kind of shit. It's just like, I don't think you've been set up for success here, but
And it's
the lads
noon,
in here
and you
don't
haven't
seem
been
to
to the
mind.
footy yet, and you haven't had a drink yet. And you're like,
Although it was disappointing because it was a North Melbourne versus Carlton game. Carlton home game.
oh, yeah, I caught wind of this because it was such an upset or whatever.
Oh, no, that was the game. I'll tell you, like, that was good fun. I'm just saying, like, in terms of, like, fan base sizes, Carlton dwarfs North Melbourne, as most teams do.
Right.
But, and it's their home game, right?
Yeah.
I rock up, we're in this fucking topless bar, and there's so many North Melbourne. Like, we had such a fucking ratio in that room.
That's where you had the ratio, huh?
Just like,
not at the
I'm
ground.
looking around, I'm like, this is too many. Do we all come here? Is this the fucking? It's just this every lad from the fucking cheer squad, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
all right, boys, not looking good. There were a couple of though, like the woolen jumpers. So you're like, okay, this guy's at least been coming here for 40 years. So
What, a woolen North Melbourne jumper, you mean? Or
yeah,
fair enough.
like back when they were made of fucking wool.
I see. I reckon, man, Collingwood has done North Melbourne a great service. All right, because it magnetically attracts all the fucking jokes about the player, the supporters. You know, when really North Melbourne pretty lecherous.
And like, we have
Just
a lot
not
of
number
great
one.
players, especially from like when I was a kid, because we got those couple of premierships. It's a bunch of those players specifically. But like, as like smaller clubs, you don't usually hear that much from whoever. Maybe something will pop up, but like most of the dudes from that era, there's a good chunk of them that have just like turned into absolute grubs.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Archer was my favorite player growing up, and I think he like punched a 14-year-old umpire at his kid's football game,
Jesus Christ.
or like shoved him to break his glasses, and you're just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
We already had Wayne Carey like fucking one of his like teammates' wives and then changing teams midway through.
Yeah.
And then he was getting out and like glassing his misses, and
Jesus
just
Christ.
the whole fucking lot of them have just been crumbling one at a time. So it's like, do I like anyone left on this team? There's Boomer Harvey. That's it. That's all I got.
But now that I think of it, I mean, like Carlton fans, when viewed, writ
Oh,
large,
man.
pretty rough mob as well.
Carlton fans losing is really fun to watch.
Well, especially fucking losing to North Melbourne. Dude,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
have been watching
Absolute-
my back leaving if I was wearing a North fucking jersey. Holy shit.
Man, we were talking about it. In the last couple of years, North really has been like the dividing rod of are people talking about firing your coach?
Oh, yeah?
Like, if you lose to North immediately in the papers, is like, are they thinking about letting him go? Because they fucking should.
It's like
Every
bad
radio
polls
station.
for the Prime Minister. You know, it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Now we're having the
Just drop that
conversation.
approval
right?
rating. But they're fucking brutal, man. I don't know if it's just that North is so used to losing that we just are nicer about it. But they're fucking booing their own players going into like quarter time and half time and shit because they haven't been playing well enough. It's like, boys, you're not fixing the mood.
Now, to be honest, I didn't see the game. Was it like North ahead the whole way, or was it just Carlton?
It's like
fucking
end of the
fell
first,
apart?
we were down, and then it was just mostly our way for the rest of the game. They came back a little bit in the last quarter, but it was sort of just because you could see everyone just turn it off. But man, because we've got the much smaller fan base anyway, and it being an away game, once most of those Carlton fans were leaving or stopped giving a fuck,
Oh yeah.
the G mostly silent is fucking eerie.
Jesus Christ.
It's
Yeah.
good when it's because your team is winning, but it's just this weird, like, you can hear the ball getting kicked and, like, people talking.
Jesus. 90,000
We're like-
people just fucking staring in silence.
Yeah. Just watching a full cheer squad of just, like, you know, full sector of people just dressed exactly the same, sitting completely still. Because we go absolute, like, top seats, like the highest up. Because I'm like, I can watch the game close up from home. You know, from that wing side, right on the ground. It's like, yeah, you can sort of watch, but it's like, where else do I get to watch it except going to like a professional game where I can be fucking ages up in the sky and just get to watch that actual whole game view. If you really want to see the close-ups, you just get it going on your phone these days.
Word.
It's sad though, because I don't hear as many. I remember when I was a kid, people like now just use the headphones, but you'd go down and some prick I actually liked it. So, but some old cunt would just come down and just bring the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'd be sitting there, and then you just like chuck the radio on, so then you and your sort of sector could listen to the commentary,
Oh yeah, right.
and then like get the call. Like it'll tell you how much time's left, all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And that used to be fun, especially when people were arguing with him to like change which broadcast to listen to. Oh fuck!
Jezza, would you accept the introduction of Taiwanese baseball cheerleaders being introduced to the AFL?
Would I want it, or would it work?
Would it be good for the sport?
I mean, it'd be good for growing the sport. Like, that's the way that fucking AFL's getting in over the NRL when you start heading up north.
Hmm.
If you want that sport to grow out of Victoria, you better get Queenslanders in with some titties.
Mm.
That's the thing. Like, money-wise, sex sells. We all know it.
That's it.
And especially when it's a primarily, like, male fan base, straight men. They do a lot now with some clubs to be like, oh yeah, we want to get the kids involved and that kind of stuff, because if they're not involved young, then they don't care to play, and then you don't get good players, you don't get fans later, etc.
Mm.
But what age kids are you getting? Because once a kid hits 10, you think the titties aren't going to start working early? Like, what are you talking about?
It was funny, just this week,
Yeah.
there was I guess it was sort of a bit of a news story that, like, from Taiwan that made its way just outside its borders, which doesn't always happen if it's not China bullshit. But anyway,
It just means it's in Reddit, but they've wrote it in English.
yeah, essentially. This guy, I guess it was a guy, I'm assuming it was the dad, the presumably son, but child anyway, I can't remember the gender of the child. But a father got his presumed son 2 hot chick dancers to dance outside the school after the graduation. But it was like maybe middle high school or something, you know, like the kid was probably 15-ish, something like that.
Again, this is my point just a moment ago. It's like adults will think that inappropriate, but the 15-year-old will disagree very, very strongly.
Yeah.
That this is a bad thing.
I know. Well, the local response is kind of like, what's the harm? You know? I mean, they weren't naked or any shit, but they were definitely good looking.
Okay, if there's not even any nudity or close to nudity, like if we're out there in like a thong, that kind of thing, if you're not even there, if it's just like skirt, nice top, woo, how is that even a story?
It was booty shorts. I think probably because it was
Whatever.
because
You
it
can
was a
watch that in
kid.
the Olympics.
Yeah. But that kind of leads to another funny thing, because just there's been this, you know, discussion here, whatever, in the public consciousness, where it's like, that shit is normal here, right? And the thing that people keep kind of bringing up and mentioning is, in a lot of the country, you'll see hot chicks that kind of look like, they would look like strippers to us. I'll just say that, right? Scantily clad, and they're dancing on fucking poles. So we know the English word for that. But they will dance at funerals and birthdays, and quite often they have
birthdays
these...
is just normal. Funerals different.
Yeah, actually, it would be more common for funerals to have dancers at a funeral.
That's what I mean. I'm like,
Than a
getting
birthday.
strippers on your birthday is
Yeah.
like,
And the other one,
pretty
Jezza, is weddings. You would have hot chicks dancing pole at weddings and funerals. It's sort of like a more southern Taiwanese thing, but honestly, the whole country, you see it a little bit.
Do you mean like at your wedding or?
Well, my wedding is in the south, and I am marrying a South Taiwanese. We were joking about it the other day, actually. She's like, oh, fuck, I wouldn't mind. I was like, well, I might. sounds funny. But the funeral thing, I mean, God,
Mhm.
it cracks me up having this
See,
shit
that
at the
makes sense to
funeral.
me in a weird, macabre way, you know?
The funeral bit. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
dude, it's very gangster kind of. You know, like just
That
it's
makes
like
more sense to
flexing a
me than the
Rolex or
wedding.
something, but it's like hot chicks. Yeah.
That makes more sense than the wedding.
But
Because that's at least got a vibe of like cheer you up.
right,
Whereas with
right,
the
right,
wedding, it's
right.
just like you're just meant to try to hook up with the bridesmaids.
Yeah. Well, they're there to give the bridesmaids competition, perhaps, for the
Ooh,
best
make them
man.
hustle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But get this. The funeral thing, right? Because it's often they will have these things that look like fucking little Pope mobiles, but instead of it being
Yeah.
a glass thing in the back for the Pope, it's just a small pole. So they can actually drive a little car along with the lady dancing on the back of the pole on the little fucking little Pope
In the
mobile.
procession.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with
So
the
one at the front,
hearse,
one at the
with the
back, and a
hearse.
hearse in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not even joking. Now, this is not every funeral, right?
No,
But
but
it's a lot of them. You know,
if you got the scratch,
it's not a weird thing.
it's like the gold line casket. It's just like not everyone, but you'll get it.
Oh, and the other place, just because this just does crack me up, and you know,
Kindergarten.
we don't mind when hot chicks want to dance around in public for whatever reason. Um, is it like temple events? Like some of the temples here, and I mean, religion is it's not as clear cut here as it is. I feel like in the West, where it's like, oh, you got different denominations and whatever. Everyone's
Even
believing
then,
something different
like,
over here.
I was saying this when I was walking around there. It's like, it's not even like it's so blended in. It's blended into the architecture where I just remember turning that corner that looks like a regular fucking street. And then there's a fucking temple there that takes up a like fucking huge city block. And then you turn the corner again, Macca's. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
the same building though.
Right, right, right. But anyway, some of the temples,
Yeah.
like for the gods' birthdays or whatever different events, might also
Yeah.
have hot chicks dancing.
I mean, if it's the like multiple gods, different like facets of human beings that they look after, kind of thing, sort of what's the word, pantheon, I could see it. Like, I'm sure, like you wouldn't have it for every Greek god's birthday, but there'd be plenty you would
Yeah,
if you were back then. You know what I mean?
fair call, fair call.
So if you got polytheistic, that's the word I was pretending I knew. Religion there, I reckon that it makes sense. Yeah.
It does until like, I mean, you're right. Your idea does make sense, but
Until the song choices were updated.
well, no, I was gonna say like the big gods here is like, oh, god of the ocean, and like there's definitely strippers at the god of the ocean's events.
Oh yeah, man. Sirens and shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what else you got?
I don't know. That's
Assume we
like
got
the
one
only
on
one I
land.
know.
That's where we live. One in the air. It's called the Mile High Club for a reason. It's,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
Anyway.
going to take a quick break because it looks like this call is about to end.
Yeah. Word.
Let's do that. So we'll be back in 1 second.
Sorry about that. It was the mailman.
Here. So we're back.
Hey,
Straight up cannot remember what we were talking about though.
I'll show you because I want to share this with your people. Hold on. This here. Can you see this shit?
Taiwan teen celebrates graduation with pole dancer gifted by mother.
Oh,
Police take action.
see, there you go.
I love that. Then it's not even like horny dad trying to get up in there. That's mum doing what she legit thinks is best for her kid.
Yeah, well,
But also, I'm looking at these outfits. That's nothing.
right. Not too bad.
And in the like conservative set, like,
Dude, how's the fucking
knee-high
car in the
boots.
background? Is this another flex?
have to be
Jesus Christ.
just some Ferrari in the background, unless that's just how the chicks arrive.
Perhaps. Also,
Like,
really quick,
it
here's
comes
the
as part of
funeral.
the service.
The funeral dances.
Ah, see, those I've seen,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
always got some caption of some shit where you're like, it'll just say the
Not too
wrong
scandally
country
quite.
and just the wrong like.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, look at these guys. They're here because they killed a bunch of children in a village or something, and then they just fucking get that playing. You're like, you could just leave the footage as is.
Yeah.
You don't really need a description.
And see the fucking Pope-mobiles. All right, anyway.
You say Pope-mobiles, they look more like mounted like on top of a truck, man. That's like a Hilux with a fucking pole on it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's just like in a car park before a fucking baseball game in some places. Like in the States, I'm talking.
Right.
It was actually a thing I was telling a mate about, those baseball dances when we were actually down at the footy. And just like, because the position you'd put them if it was the same, it's like, because we were saying, it's not dead in front, like behind home plate. It's either side, like at a 45 degree each way. But that would mean it would be like the dancers, and then just the cheer squad in the middle. So it'd just be the cheer squad surrounded by all the horny blokes and their kids sitting behind that stage, and then back to Gen Pop afterwards.
Yeah.
I just love that. They're all trapped in there. They're like, we're here for the team. It's like, are ya?
Well, I'll tell you now, I'm not going to the baseball here for the baseball. I looked it up too.
I mean, some of the baseball was all right.
Yeah.
I think it was good in terms of like you learn what baseball's for, and it's the same as like what cricket's for. It's like we were there, had to hang out, look around, watch some of the game, talk shit,
Drink a few cans.
That's it. Like that's the point of those sports. It's to hang about.
Yeah, no doubt.
And you can still sort of give it a crack. Doesn't matter if you suck.
I was hoping we could all go to a game in November when you guys are here for my wedding, but the fucking season ends in October, bro. So
what other sports you got going on? Can we go to that thing that was like 100 blokes all trying to like climb each other?
Bro, that's Japan! But I don't know, maybe they have it here.
I don't know, man. It was on a fucking massive screen when we went to a market. I assumed it was local.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Japanese culture's big here, so probably find it somewhere.
I mean that.
Dude, I would
that fucking
that
air
would-
fried double Japanese.
That would kick
chicken
ass. I
thing.
would love to try that fucking sport, like the lifting people up and making a tower and grabbing the flag off the other tower or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Like that was the thing. We were standing there. I'm staring at that screen, obsessed with it, and had no idea what was going on. Even at the end of it, I'm like, there was no pattern recognition except for up, and then they started to swirl and things got fucking chaotic.
Right.
Like, I just no idea. I'm like, what's the objective?
Yeah.
Is the spinning the objective? Just like,
Yeah. I think we need more, like, kind of full combat sports because they're pretty fucking interesting. Like, I was watching one the other day online, and it was from Italy, and it's like a 20v20 fucking just brawl. Like, I'm not even sure if there was, like... Oh, no, there was a ball. They were trying to move a ball, I guess.
yeah.
To do... I mean, shoot a goal, presumably, but it was just fucking 19 dudes versus 20 dudes in a brawl, and then someone trying to run around with a ball. And
Love it. Have you seen full contact basketball?
No.
It's a lot of it's that I get is all Russian, but my god, because you've still got to bounce to move the ball around, like to try and dodge and things. And usually the reason those moves do something is because that guy has to avoid touching you. So it's just a dude like going to dribble down the court, and then someone just like absolute throws the shoulder into him from the front and just drops him. Guys taking shots because you got to just go up and extend with that. So dudes are just ramming you straight in the back with 2 forearms.
Right.
And it's like, and the thing they use to compensate this, they're like, oh, you get knee pads. Because they're still just on hard court.
Yeah.
All of those weird fighting variation ones are great. Like the guys fighting in cars. You seen those? It's just
Is
two
it
dudes.
Russian? I've seen the Russian phone booth one.
Oh, the phone booth one's the same. I was going with that one next. Just like the car one is it.
I've seen the car.
Just 2 dudes. One's in the driver's seat, passenger seat. They've got the seat belts on.
Yeah.
I love that. Like that's the thing. They have to start with it on because then it's like 3, 2, 1, go, and the first thing they have to do is unbuckle the belt.
Yeah.
And man, they just fucking go at each other in that car.
Yeah. I think Russians are definitely the leaders in fucking odd full combat in small confined spaces sports. There was
Yeah, they want to try different rules, but in the end, they're still playing the same game.
yeah, a couple of weeks ago there was a video making the rounds on Reddit, and it was 5v5 MMA, Russia v
Fuck.
Ukraine.
That was also the one I was going to mention, and that shit is just
yeah,
it
crazy. Especially when you got a
it's like
war
watching
going
a
on between
MOBA.
those two countries. Imagine the spice in that ring. Oof.
Man, it looked like like that MOBA dynamic where it's like, oh, you drop one, and now you're 4v5.
Yeah, well, it definitely
And they
looked like a MOBA, just chaotic fuckwits screaming. You know?
All strength class.
Yeah.
Someone's throwing a hook.
Stack in mid, you know.
Yeah, that's what it is. 5v5 Russian MMA is just mid only.
Well, Russians
Must choose strength.
Russians love their fucking MOBAs, dude. Maybe you know, just like we understand this format of 5v5 well.
But I just mean that like the absolute collapse that just happens in those situations. Because it's not like a full scale like if it was like 100 dudes versus 100 dudes, there'd be enough people winning and losing individual matchups sort of at the start.
Right.
It would spread relatively evenly. But when it's 5, it's like once it immediately goes from 5-5 to 4-5,
Right.
that means there's a guaranteed 2-on-1 immediately.
Yeah.
And so all the rest of the dudes just need to hold their own until the 2v1 becomes then a 3v1 and then a 4. Like you just work your way down.
Right.
And it just ends up being like
cascade.
one guy up on the other team and he's just like getting the shit kicked out of him by 5 dudes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 2v1, I think that's going to end pretty quick if everyone's equal-ish skill and size, which they are. So.
Yeah, they're all Russian.
Yeah.
Like once you get to a Russian above like, you know, per boxing weight class, say, it's just like getting a different like element. And you're just measuring the density now and height of these different things. Like you can't say who's stronger or who's not. It's like, yeah, they're both made of fucking couldn't name a single thing off the periodic table. You know, you get a bit of steel, it's as strong as steel is, and that's just all Russians.
Did I ask you when you were in Thailand this year or whenever it was? Was it full of Russians?
Or
maybe not
no,
Koh
because
Samui.
we were there in like the off season,
Oh yeah.
or like some like their I don't know, quieter patch of the year or whatever it is. But I also went with like a fuckload of people and caught up with all of them, so there wasn't a huge amount of dealing with randos on the beach.
Yeah.
Definitely not to the point where like you're chatting one-on-one. That's just me and, you know, some other dude usually from fucking Australia just screaming in my face. It's like, mate, I still can't hear you. But I definitely remember, because I remember when we did the Vietnam trip, there was a lot of just like...
Nha Trang, baby. Little
What's
monster.
I was trying to think of the collective noun for Russians.
Yeah, I don't know. A tank? I don't know. A human wave of Russians.
A winter.
A
winter of Russians.
Yeah. I think we told this story on the pod a million years ago, right? But the big fucking nasty looking Russian dudes that were in the rooftop pool in the place we were staying were like,
yeah,
can we get in?
That's
not what happened for the record, people listening, but I do remember thinking like, this fucking dude has seen some tanks, all right? Like, it looks like you've got scars from a tank track rolling over your fucking
you did go up
chest.
there, because I remember, because you guys must have gone up a different time, because I went up there when they were up there, just like on my own, and I went to go in, and the girl's just like, pool is closed. It's like he's sitting in the pool to tell me this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, anyone who's pulling that move so confidently, I'm just like, I'm not rolling the dice on that.
Yeah. There's a very high likelihood of a criminal element here. Fucking.
It was also
weird
just
Russians
as simple as he was way bigger than I was.
Yeah, and that. Yeah.
So it's like, what am I actually going to do if he decides that the pool is closed? Doesn't need a criminal past.
Right,
You can just
right.
be a massive Russian dude.
Yeah. But
Although that
I
wasn't
think
as weird as.
it's probably different now. Now Southeast Asia is full of normal Russians, like, because all the normal moderate guys are like, fuck the war, flee the country so they don't get drafted in.
Yeah.
When yeah. Anyway,
They've
it
still
might
got
have-
the they're not as terrifying, but at the same time, they're still a touch of odd that a lot of those Eastern European countries tend to hang on to. It's just like working in IT, just getting to meet, random just fucking Polish dudes out of nowhere that you're just like, there's something off about you lot. Just Hungarians from back home, that kind of thing. You're just like, yeah, cool. Everything seems pretty fine. You've just got an accent, and it's just like, what do you mean you've been swimming in the Yarra?
Yeah.
Because it's near your hotel room. Okay.
No doubt, no doubt. I was at a little dinner thing the other night, and I just got seated at a table with randos. It's kind of one of those things, a business thing, and there was a Russian guy, and dude, he like within the first 2 minutes, he's like, I haven't lived in Russia for like 10 years, and I don't agree with what the Putin's doing. I was like, all right, well. I didn't ask, and that's not what we were talking about, but I mean, good to know. I guess.
That's the worst spy. Just the worst fucking spy in the world. I don't support Putin, by the way.
Yeah, and KGB, I don't know. I don't know.
The what union? That was also like not even Russian. That was bad for German.
I got in a spat the other night with my British buddy Tom because he'd been watching videos or something about Eastern Europe, and he's like, we were talking about the Baltic countries like Lithuania because I love my Lithuanian business, and he had a very nuclear temperature fucking hot take, which was like, oh, those Baltic countries, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia were better off in the Soviet Union. And I was like, oh, I just don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't think the people there think that. And I've been there several times, and they say, we are so fucking glad we're not in a Soviet bloody republic anymore. And also, look at all this wealth and all this shit that we built in the last 20, 30 years. And because it was fucking hate the Russians
to the rest of the Union.
Yeah, so I'm like, Tom, I think you need to get your head checked, dude. Like, those countries are fucking loving not being in the Soviet Union. And then
I know Tom swings on a few opinions that I found when I was around to see you.
Oh yeah, I mean, all us guys, we just shoot from the hip here,
my favorite was going in the conversation where he was telling us about like people thinking that, like, he's like, we're not racist. We're living over here in Asia. Why would we be racist if we're doing that? Pause 10 seconds. Man, gypsies can just fuck right off. And just,
well,
just switching so quick.
Before Brexit, he used to be a part of Europe, I guess. So, I mean, that's Europeans. Yeah, I mean, they can all agree on that. And
fuck, he looks British too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's the most British guy I've ever seen.
Yeah, fair true.
But like real British, not like fucking like toffish in a movie British.
Yeah. Well, he did say, Jezza, the other day he's super looking forward
the man's
to
practically
having beers with you again this November.
Yeah, I got to try to actually pace myself this time.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
I was good the rest of the trip. It was just sort of a constant drinking, but on what I would have called the intended night out.
Yeah, the big first night.
Well, I mean,
dude, you created a little bit of a legend. Well, maybe not that big of a legend, but we still mention it occasionally. Like, first night Jezza comes to visit in Taiwan and go to the pub. And I love it, Jezza, because you don't realize access to marijuana is very hard over here. So we drink beer, we drink alcohol, and Jezza and Lockie come over to visit me, and I think hit the realization that you have not been practicing drinking booze, and
No, no,
without
no, no,
tolerance.
no. That
all
wasn't
right.
my problem.
Well, I think it was
My
your problem. Yeah.
No, no, no. It
Correct
was
the
the problem
record.
was. Here's the problem. I got too much national pride in me.
Mm-hmm.
That when I was sort of accidentally included in like 4 circles of people that all wanted me to have a Jaeger bomb, I like, what am I going to do? Turn one of them down and then have like 6 people think I'm soft? It's like, I can't be the Australian coming over there and not drinking all the drinks, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like you have one, I had 2, I had the 3, actually tried to be responsible and was like, nah, I won't have the 4th one. But then some chick from your work just like poured the shot into the drink and went to sip it. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? It's called a Jaeger bomb. It's meant to like bomb in some way. What are you doing? She goes, what do you mean? I'm like, well, fucking like this. And I pick up the one that was waiting for me that I was midway through turning down.
Yeah.
And just fucking threw that one down. And I fought your majority stakeholder out the front in a nice friendly wrestling match where he looked like he shit himself at the end.
Yeah. Wow.
Celebrated way too hard and then spewed up in the gutter. Like, what am I...
Oh, you're skipping all
Where
the
was
good
I
bits
meant
of the
to not do
story.
those things?
Yeah. You engaged in a fair, legal, consensual duel with another man. And,
Yes. Julie, for
outside,
honor's
which,
sake.
you know, you don't see that every day. It was very gentlemanly. You know, everyone throws down the glove. There's referees.
I've watched that video back. I was throwing more than the glove down. I was shirt off, slapping the ground like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And that's how the video opens. I remember getting shown it. I'm like, that's not a good start.
Yeah. Anyway, won a duel, and then get to the after party, and you just lose power in the gutter.
Excuse me. I did not get to the after party.
Oh, yeah.
We were en route to the after party.
No, that's it.
Which,
that's
if anything, is slightly better.
Well, sure, yeah. You don't want to do that at.
It's
the
easier
place.
to just drop in the street than it would be to go into a venue, get thrown out of a venue, then deal with me in the street anyway.
And you probably would have got the ass pretty quick because it was at a fucking business's office. It was in their office building, right? So
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
a club
Even
or a
before I
bar.
was sick, I'm walking at a 45-degree angle just to the side.
Yeah.
So, woo.
Yeah.
Just trying to, like, balance out the amount of, like, spinning in your head.
And it's funny that place, Pick Collage is the name of the company. Anyway, who gives a fuck? They're a tech some bullshit. Do something with pictures on phones, I guess. Everyone's like, oh, they got the cool office. You know, like, oh, have you seen that office? Like, and I've just moved our company into an office where I've done all the design. Not so much the floor work, but whatever, most of the rest of the decision making.
Yeah.
And you know, people are like, oh, are we gonna have a cool one like Pick Collage? I'm like, well, I don't know. I've never been to fucking Pick Collage because the one time I got almost to the door, I had Jezza with me, and motherfucker lost power and blew chunks in the gutter. You know?
Reppin'.
I didn't get a chance to look inside to get inspired by how nice
Sorry,
an
we'll go
office
next
can be.
I promise I'll get you in next time. There's actually a great photo of me and what's the Spanish guy's name that you work with?
Alfonso.
Yeah, that's it. What was I calling him?
Fucking, I don't know.
There was just some other Spanish name that was just like
Yeah. So
as if I was.
disrespectful.
It sounded like I was doing it on purpose.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, I knew it was wrong because I got corrected later, and I'm like, oh shit. Actually, no. I think I did the back fourth because I thought, I'm like, it's not going to be Alfonso. What the fuck am I? And then I thought of something else, was calling him that, and that was completely wrong. Anyway, there's a great photo of me and him because I was still wearing like the sweatbands from that fucking costume that I was more or less wearing to get my ass rolled in this fucking Smash tournament.
Yeah.
So it's just me, just covered in sweat, arm up in the air, just like celebrating. And Alfonso's just like lifting me up, and it's like it looks like an old like 1980s like soccer World Cup photo.
Oh yeah.
And it's all dark and like just lit from the back. It looks awesome. But like it's weird for me to also look at that and go like, 4 minutes later, I am unconscious. Like,
Yeah.
just like, But I'll put a better show on this time, especially if you've got, your missus' family kicking around. It's a bit more. It's easier to justify to myself to be on my best behavior, or at least better behavior.
Right. And that's only one night. And it seems there's enough people coming now that we actually need to put a fair few people in the venue next door. So the venue where the wedding is actually going to be mostly the Australian delegation and some of my people from Taipei. So that campsite might be a bit degenerate, we'll see. Or at least there'll be insulation from my in-laws.
Nah, man, I wanted full, I want to be in the middle.
Yeah.
Let them see the ruckus.
Dude, there's a couple of, the uncles and shit, or, even great uncles, I guess. I don't know. They
I'm always weird with those
are
about
hilariously
which one.
degenerate alcoholics. And I'll tell you what, because Shungling and I have already discussed it, there's going to be, a few real old Taiwanese dudes who will want to drink spirits, have a toast. They will come and toast several times with everybody who's at that wedding. And we're worried that you guys will feed into each other, where it's because language is going to be a problem, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there speaking one language, and they're not all the same
yeah.
language. But there's the universal, raise the fucking little shot glass,
Yeah. Yeah.
That will be the lingua franca.
You make a joyous noise and raise a drink, and people can clearly see you're talking to them.
Yeah.
You understand they want you to drink.
Right. And, some of them,
What's the concern?
you get so that their enthusiasm for getting pissed is just infectious, right? You just wanna.
I mean, who says I won't? Which venue are you putting them in? Degenerate town, or do they just have to mix in with the family?
Well, they're all semi-local, so they'll all fuck off at the end of the night, I'm pretty sure.
I'll just go home. Just drive home pissed.
Well, I mean, you joke, but I'll tell you what, drink driving is a problem in this country. And
Isn't it? Am I wrong in thinking it was one of the places where it's punished real heavily because of that?
No, it's the opposite. It's punished super fucking light. Super goddamn light. And get this. I was catching up with an old buddy the other day. I probably haven't seen him in 5 years. And he's a bit of a mild degenerate. And he got caught.
Like most of your friends, let's be honest.
Yeah. I won't reveal too many details, but he got in trouble with the law. Nothing to do with driving. We'll just say an extremely low level crime in our country. And he got sentenced to 50 hours community service, right? And and again, I should not admit to the crime, but basically, yeah, if you were to do what he did in Australia, you would get a judge to say, please don't do that again. And if you did it 2 more times, they might tell you twice more, please don't do that again. It's that level of crime. Who gives a fuck level of crime? Anyway, while he's doing his community service, which is you get put into a chain gang just without the chains. You have to wear a vest. I'm doing community service and I fucked up, and then you walk along in a row of 20 guys just picking up trash from the side of the road, right? So sometimes, and they sometimes do
So
this
there's
in
a
the city
shame
too.
element to it.
Oh yeah. And anyway,
hang on.
guy.
Pause.
Yeah.
Just leaving myself some audio to find this bit. What was the crime?
He had marijuana in his system. He was at a bar and it got raided, and he'd smoked at some point in the last 24 hours. And and the police forced him to piss in a cup, and he didn't lawyer up immediately. And then the judge threw the book at him, and throwing the book at you for just having pot in your system is threat of jail time and definitely some community service. And you also have to pee in a cup every month for 12 months to show that you haven't had any more.
Dang.
Yeah.
cut back in.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a ridiculous point. Well, there's a few places like that because I'm pretty sure Japan, I think it was, is the opposite with the driving.
Right. But sorry, just real quick. The fucking after he's doing his community service and he speaks Chinese quite well, and he asked some of the other dudes that he's like, "What do you guys fucking? What did you do to end up here with me?" And they were fascinated by him because like he's a white guy and you just never see a foreigner in these groups, right? And they definitely were like, "What did you fucking do, to get here?" But anyway,
you had some other mate you were telling me about, and the option was just like they turf you.
Yeah, well, that was a different story.
Not that it would have been the same and anything like that, but I just mean like it
Yeah.
seems like there's not going to be a lot of white people like
Right.
originally from there. So the easy option is just go,
Right.
don't ever come back.
Yeah, but some of the other guys, they said, "Oh, I committed like vehicular manslaughter or something, and I'm doing my 50 hours community service, and I got fined 2,500 Aussie dollars
For the same as like something so minor that's
Yeah,
ridiculously minor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's so minor that you can't actually. I don't even think it's. From what you told me, I don't even think it's a crime.
to kill somebody with a car. Yeah, well, I
No.
mean,
That is. But I mean, like the thing that you were mentioning that like this bloke was up to. I don't even think you can be charged with that.
No, you can't. no, not in
Just
Australia.
walking down the street,
No.
you can't. Like no.
Right.
Like
right,
that's
right.
that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's a big, it's an ongoing discussion here, public discussion about like, can we fucking punish drivers for anything? Because there's this weird class element to it where, like, if you have a car here, you're a wealthy person. So
Yeah.
it's sort of like almost necessarily most drivers are sort of the, middle upper class. So police don't like to fuck with them. Those are the people that can like lawyer up and be annoying and whatever. So anyway, a lot of it goes.
And often just have say over the fucking rules.
Yeah.
Politicians and shit.
Yeah. But no, super bizarre.
Yeah, no, that's weird because I think it was Japan. I could 100% be wrong, but it's like if you get done for drink driving, the punishment is like massive, whatever. But like your passenger will also cop the charge because they're like letting you
Accessory
like,
to the crime. Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
Whack.
And I can't remember. I remember asking, but again, I can't remember what the answer was. Whether or not it was like, is it a more or less if the passenger is also drunk? Because like, would they go, okay, you're also drunk, so that's just the same? And like, one of you had to drive, so we're considering you both guilty? Or would that be worse if he was sober? And they're like, you could have fixed this. Like, you're responsible because you could have driven as a sober person.
You know, it'd be awesome.
What's that?
Because lawyers, they'll always pick up the phone, right, and have a chat with you for free. Okay. So here's what we do, Jezza. For next podcast, we reach out to a Japanese English-speaking lawyer, tell him, hey, we got a case. We just want to ask you about, how much trouble we're in or whatever. Just launch him up on the pod, and he doesn't know it's a pod. He just chatting to two Australian guys on Google Meet.
We were having some troubles.
Just asking like, hey, we got some questions about the legality of being a passenger while drunk in a drunk driving case. This gentleman over here.
Unless there's a
he was
prank
passenger.
element to it, it's like way easier to just Google this. Like, there's no even opinion to it. It's not like, oh, is this sort of how it runs, or is it lenient? It's just like, is this the case?
Yeah.
We can just look up.
Well, just saying. Could
Probably
be
a
could
website
be fun to have a
called
guest.
Japanese laws, or they just whatever fucking they punch up in there.
Could be a fun, dude. That might be an offshoot pod for us. Like, we like without notifying people.
You take all of the thoughts we've had. Well, I reckon that is okay. That's the thing. You're not allowed to Google anymore. So basically, we have to just figure out bits of information completely IRL. Like through phone calls or like just talking to people we know. There's like no looking up numbers, no like whatever's in your phone. Like if you got like your friend's number or something, they're not allowed to Google it. You can only. Ooh. It's
Well,
not
how
actually a bad
about this?
idea.
How about this? It's a podcast where we contact businesses that like sell software, enterprise software, because they will always have salespeople and they will always give you 30 or 60-minute demos, like demos of how to use their stuff. And then we don't tell them they're on a pod and just kind of play it cool for a little bit and then slowly get fucking weirder and dumber and ask stupid questions and then just see how long it takes to have them drop off the call and be like, oh, I'm getting my fucking time wasted by two idiots.
I mean, I'm happy to just do that for something to do.
Oh, dear.
I mean, I've heard worse ideas. Worse use to my Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. No, that does sounds pretty cancerous. And I do think that, man, a lot of like prank shit is fucking terrible. But there is one Aussie group, I think they're called Misfit Minds or something. Have you seen these dudes?
Don't know, which is it?
I'll
A
send
lot
you
of
the
my
link
content
later.
directly from Australia at the moment, and that's very Australian, is just to do with Zins.
Oh, no, I don't know that. But there's this group of
Zins
Aussie
and
boys.
living off gambling.
Oh, yes, dude.
So many of those.
I know, like, oh, a day in the life of me living off my gambling and living in a van. And he just sits there and punts on the fucking horses all day.
Oh, my favorite is the dudes who are like, all right, this is how you get fuel for free. And he pumps his thing, it's like $90. And he goes, all right, pulls up on the Google glasses, fucking game of blackjack, and just like bets until he makes the $80. He's like, yep, free fuel, here you go. And just walks off. And it's like, there's so many of those for some reason.
I know. And very Australian, by the way. And even my friends group here who are the zero Australians, they're all like, I get so many Australian gambling memes. And I'm like, I think that's because, A, Instagram knows we're close. So they're serving me that and they're just giving you a few so we got something to talk about. And B, there's just so much of that content, period, that you can't avoid it forever.
No, you can't dodge it.
Yeah. But I was going to say, this Aussie prank group, I'm almost certain they're called Misfit Minds. I'll send it to you later. It's so funny, dude. They like do pranks in a way that like isn't too offensive, which, you know, offensive pranks, there was an arms race for a while and it got fucking stupid as hell, right? And I definitely don't condone that. It was nasty
offensive
shit.
In which way? Like offensive like jackass type
just
stuff?
Being
Or you mean like
fuckwits to people and that's the prank? Like, I'm going to go be a fuckwit in public and get reactions and then upload that for views.
Yeah.
But these dudes are
basically
actually
just
funny
going,
and creative.
can I get this man to punch me by saying the N-word?
Yeah. Like, and one of them, and they always do small town shit, so I gotta show it to you. But just two examples real quick. The first one was like, big council meeting about like, we don't want the McDonald's turning into 24-hour McDonald's because wherever you have 24-hour McDonald's, you have like undesirable people like hanging around there and it becomes like a public safety. Like it's all these old fucking people out in the middle of nowhere country, you know, Australia, like Mavis and shit. Like, I don't want the 24-hour Maccas. And so it's like a whole room, probably 200 people in the room. And the prankster guy from the troupe is in the front row and fucking Uber Eats McDonald's, but it's actually just his buddy. So like during the talk, his big fat mate comes in. He's like, I got an Uber Eats order for, you know, whatever, fucking Jason. And the guy's like, hey. And then everyone in the room's like, what the fuck? You know, like talking about not expanding McDonald's. Anyway, but that was kind of light. The one that they loved, I loved the most because it was they did it in Stawell. You know the town Stawell,
I know Stawell.
just outside of Horsham. So nice shit little country town. But they went there and they were just interviewing people in their front yards. Just drove around and there's somebody. Say what's up to them and they say, oh yeah, we're just exploring plans. And they got their high vis on. They're like look like construction guys.
I may have seen this one.
Yeah, and they're like, we're planning on building a 5-story McDonald's in Stawell. Yes. And like, you know, population 3,000. It's gonna be a 5-story Stawell McDonald's, and it's gonna bring like hundreds of jobs to Stawell. Like everyone's gonna work in this giant fucking McDonald's, and they got the pictures of the, you know, what it would look like in the town, and they just demolish their old clock tower thing, which is like the only fucking thing in Stawell, right? Just demolish that to build a 5-story thing. Then the funniest bit was just like Yeah, and it's it's a Chinese firm that's planning this, and we're gonna have to bring in probably like 50 or 100 like Chinese construction guys and whatever, and just all these like old codgers in store like, I don't want the fucking Chinese in stall, But just so clever. It gives me that Sacha Baron Cohen vibes, where he'd just go around and say funny shit, and other people would just reveal their awkward,
That's it. Like, in an interview is one thing, but if you just walk into a room, say a thing, and wait for somebody to come up and tell you what they reckon, it's like, it's too easy.
Right.
You get enough people in a room, it's just... It's bound to happen. You'll get at least 5.
Right. So fun. It's like, holding the mirror to society, kind of. That type of content, I think, is really clever. But
I just think it's funny with that one, where it's like, that they're already scared of the Chinese coming over and buying all the everything. It's like, it's a bit harsh for you to then go like, it's actually happening. You're like, no.
Yeah. I know.
Like,
funny,
right?
Right?
There is monsters under your bed. It's like you're picking on them now.
Yeah. Oh, the new office building, right? Our one. I said I did the design in the biggest meeting room. I was like, I want every meeting room to have a giant picture on the wall. Like one of the walls is a giant fucking picture.
It's you and the fucking Napoleon.
No. But the theme is just like, kind of different locations or cities that are important to either the founders or the company. But anyway, I was like, I'm going to put something Victorian, a bit of Melbourne,
Glenrowan
in the big room. No. It's just Flinders Street Station. But what's funny is I told my parents this. There's just a bit more to it than that. It's got to be iconic,
right? Melbourne Eye. The fucking Ferris wheel is still not working.
Is that there still?
That's still there.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Melbourne Star, baby.
Yeah. But anyway, I told my dad, like, each room, has a bit of something for where we're from, whatever. And he's like, you should have put the Patchy Wallick pub up on the wall. And I was like, fuck, Dad, why didn't I talk to you earlier in the review cycle here? That'd be hilarious.
Those old pubs, like,
Yeah.
People like makes a wall look good. You got to say.
Right.
Cheesy as hell. Very pool room, but fuck it. Actually, the only thing better is if you got a photo of that style of the office building you were just moving into. Like the way a pub will just have a picture of the pub in the pub.
Yeah.
I've never understood that in my fucking life.
Right.
People just walked in. They knew what they walked into.
I...
Unless it's one of those ones where it's like 100 years ago when it was found, and it's like the city around it looks entirely different, and that's like the point of the picture, because that's all right.
Let me tell you the craziest thing I saw in a pub one time. So, I mentioned earlier, I fuck with Lithuania, and the first time I went there, very first night, I told the guys I do business over there with, and I'm very close with this dude. We did a lot of shit for years before I met him in person. And anyway, I'm like, I really want to have like ceppolini, which is their national dish. It's like just a bunch of meat inside of a potato, boiled, and then they pour fucking bacon grease and bacon on top and serve it with sour cream. It's like a fucking 5,000 calorie just nuke, like weigh your ass down.
Called?
Ceppolini, which is like Zeppelin. They look like a Zeppelin, right? Like a fucking, just a balloon, but it's a mashed potato wrapped around meat. Anyway, greasy as hell, delicious. Anyway, I'm like, hey, I want Ceppolini.
Fucking potato night, and it's got a new recommendation.
Oh yeah. I'll send you a link. I haven't tried making them at home yet, but anyway, I will. But I'm like, I want Ceppolini. Let's go to a pub and find that. He's like, oh yeah, come with, meet me here, whatever. And I go to the pub, and we're meeting there, so he's not there yet. And I had a colleague with me, a Taiwanese guy, and we walk in the pub, and there's this giant mural, like a giant picture, probably like 2 meters by 3 meters, like big, and it's Vladimir Putin, right? And I was like, oh, interesting. And it's got the caption underneath, dictator, D-I-C-K, tater, right? And I'm like, ooh, okay, this is a bit spicy. And
Yep.
this is like as you walk
You gotta
in.
love when a place like dedicates a whole wall to that.
Yeah. And I walk further in, right, and get closer to the Putin on the wall.
Yeah.
And like, have a closer look, and it's literally fucking thousands of pictures of people's dick arranged in a mural to just look like Putin. But it's just literally all photos of people's junk. And I was like,
Yep.
I love this fucking country. You know what?
I love that that's
hilarious.
also like somewhere else that'd be in an art installation somewhere in fucking New York City or something like that. It's like that's just in a pub.
Yeah.
And they just made that.
Right. And the other funny one too, like this was all in the first 24 hours. They took me to another place like probably the next day for lunch. And they're like, "Oh, this is some like Georgian place, some Caucasus shit. I don't know. They got a lot of that food from that part of the world we don't know about." And on the wall, giant painting as well. It was like it was outside. When I'm describing this place, it looks like the shittest fish and chip shop ever, where most of it's outside and like the kitchen's in a shipping container. Like it was like that level of like just
The chips are fucking sick.
Yeah. And it was like, it was for a kebab or something. So I was like, fucking, yeah, I'm all over this. But anyway, on the side of the bloody shipping container fucking kitchen thing, giant painting as well. Also Putin. And it was like, some old guy. I think it was like the leader of the Russian Orthodox Church. And has his big dick out. And like a naked Putin on a leash is like sucking his dick. And this is just on the street next to the Bab shop. Yep. I mean, it's on the Bab shop. Anyway.
Murals be murals, man.
Yeah. I'll send you the photo later. I don't know if you edit this video at all, but you could flash it up.
This one's a bit long, so I will be editing. So here it is.
Yeah. Here it is. And here's the dictator photo as well. I've got a photo of that.
I reckon we should wrap it up there, man. We're about to get kicked out of this call, which means we've been going for ages.
Yep. Sounds good, Jezza. Well, lovely chatting.
As always, follow me at TechieWebby for any of the show updates or any of my nonsense. Leave a rating for the show. I don't ask for that often enough. If you're enjoying it, give it a thumb in either your podcasting app, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, that kind of nonsense. Does actually help stuff getting seen by more than just you lot. But yeah, do you have any socials or anything you want to follow on, Mib?
Yep, just Noah Moby, Mobi on Instagram, and yeah, that's it. Give it a thumb. Yep. Give it a thumb, you fuckers.
That's it. If you just go to the Instas, you can find the rest of anything else we've got going on from there, pretty much. So, thanks very much again, Mavs.
Till next time, Jezza.
We'll catch you later. Peace.
Peace.